Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. It's TLC Tuesday. I'm back in my office for this show. One show only today.
That's a lot of pressure.
I'm home for 3 days and then I leave on Wednesday to go to France. And that's exciting, except for we did have a little bit of excitement this morning or yesterday that so my husband left today to go because it's a work trip for him, and people that were going on Air France, all their flights were all canceled, and he's on United. I'm going on United Wednesday, so he was like, "There's a slight window that the whole trip could be canceled," and I was in my mind like, "Okay, good,
That's be fine.
yeah, that would be okay." But then all those people in Air France got booked on United, so no, alas, we're still going. So he has gone to the airport.
Alas, she's still going to France, people.
Listen, I don't want to complain
Pity
because
her.
all these trips I'm going on really are great fun. There's nothing about it is like bad. It's just so much and
So much.
I'm just so tired. And
I know.
I even took like a full on got in the bed, put on my eye mask under the covers kind of a nap. Like normally I'll just lay on
That's
top
a
of the
lot.
bed and
Yeah.
get my little blankie, but I was like, this is gonna be a good one. I'm getting
Yeah.
in. I'm getting in the bed with the blanket, sound machine, the whole thing. Listened to a podcast, no idea what it said. It was just lulled me right to sleep. I gotta go
I
back
love
and
it.
listen. Okay, so a couple of announcements here. Okay, a bunkie wrote me and reminded me that I interviewed Stevie and forgot to ask her, what did your dad think you were filming?
Oh, yeah.
Literally, they wrote, I listened to that entire interview and you forgot to ask her. I was like, damn it, you're right. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the listener that wrote me that. Of course, I never write anything down. I can't thank you personally by name because I forgot. But I did reach out to Stevie and
Okay.
said, okay, Stevie, I'm so dumb. I forgot to ask you this question. And I always am like wanting to ask. And she
Yes.
said she told her dad that it was a TV show about local artists and they were going to interview
Okay.
her about her
Mhm.
art.
Yeah. A boob painting show.
A boo
Yeah.
painting, and then she just dropped it on her dad, like, "Guess what?
Guess what? Yeah.
Instead, I'm getting married to a guy from Iran. I got
So
you."
I'm assuming that he didn't have to sign a contract that said 90-day fiance on it. It probably
Probably,
just says Matt Sharp Productions or
yeah, I
something.
could have even said, like, TLC, and
Yeah, and
it was just like,
he didn't read it, he just signed it, sure.
who I wouldn't read it. It's just sign at the
Yeah,
bottom that says, "We can just have your
yeah.
use your likeness," and he was like, "Okay." Yeah,
Okay, I'm really glad you asked.
I'm glad
We
that the
have to
listener
remember
reminded
to
me.
have you ask that every time
'Cause
you
God, what
talk
a
to
dummy.
somebody.
What a dummy. I can't believe I forgot that. So, I appreciate them reaching out and not shaming me for it, just gently reminding me.
Yeah,
Um,
I like
I
that.
I did get a note from a listener this weekend where
Oh,
I
no.
posted a picture of I think I just, like, went out on my balcony in Vegas to show how loud it was because just
I saw
that
it.
is I cannot explain to you.
It was like
Yeah,
it's just
yes,
like ladies screaming,
yeah.
"Woohoo!" Yeah,
So loud. 2 nightclubs to the right, and
yeah.
then the Bellagio in front.
Ooh,
Ooh.
woohoo!
And then when we got back on Saturday night, I almost went out on the balcony again to be like, it is 12:30. Now, of course, that's prime time in Vegas, but, um, let me tell you what, when you're tired like that, you just put your sound machine and you go right to sleep. It didn't bother me. It became background noise. It didn't bother me at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
But then so I posted that and I was like, Vegas is not for me. This listener or whoever she was, who I guess follows me on Instagram but hates me, wrote and said, "You should go home."
Jerk.
So I wrote back and said, "Great, I am home. I'm in my bed. Thanks. Thanks for caring. Thank you."
That's
So I
the
did.
comment I always get if I say anything negative about this country. You could leave.
You know what?
Oh,
No, this is my country too.
this is my country too. I'm allowed to say things about it. Also, my parents live here. Otherwise, I probably would leave.
No, we love America. We don't maybe always love the current state of affairs, but we gotta love our
Yeah,
country. Yeah.
yeah. You're never
Uh,
apparently allowed to complain about a place that you are in because
mm.
you could just leave. They don't
Well,
understand that circumstances might have brought you to that place or Grateful Dead concert.
I think people don't wanna feel like you're insulting where they live, and, I get it. I get it, but I'm not insulting Las Vegas as a whole. I was insulting that particular corner when my room was very, very
Right.
loud. I was very grateful to Babs, our bunkie, who gets us the great deal on rooms, and she works for Caesars, and she's incredible. She always helps me out. Very grateful. I was grateful for the 2 windows I got to see out of both sides. It was very bright
Yeah.
in there. And I will be staying there again for BravoCon, so I'll be complaining about the noise then as well. But again, I'll be so tired, I'll just go right to sleep.
Yeah, it's
Just go
fine.
right to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's announcement number 1 was about Stevie.
Also, this whole show is us watching shows that we sometimes hate. So
Mhm.
she could just go, "Then you don't have to talk about those shows."
I do get that a lot of times. "Why do you watch these shows if you hate them so much?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry you got the impression. I hated it
Yeah,
because I love it, actually.
we love it, but we
Love
love
it."
to hate it.
I think that's
By
in
the
my
way,
bio.
apologies if you hear, like, a noise. Do
Uh-uh.
you hear something? Somebody near me is doing, I don't know, like, maybe floor waxing or carpentry. I don't understand what's happening in this
I don't
apartment.
hear it, but I will never get
Okay,
over
good.
the time we did some kind of live, maybe it was Yellow Jackets or maybe it was Claim to Fame, and Sarah from Crying Scene had somebody above her, like, like, drilling
They were
so loud, like,
drilling.
she would say, like, what she'd go like, "Well, I think," and then she'd just have to mute herself. She's like, "I can't, never mind. Doesn't matter what I think," because you couldn't hear her. It was
I
like,
recorded with Kim, our friend Kim from People Are Wild
yeah,
podcast, and her roommate was assembling a giant cat tree with a drill, like building
uh-uh.
with woodwork a cat some sort of cat
Yeah,
amusement park,
yeah.
and the she posted a picture after, and she's like, "This was what it was all for, guys."
Seems like you could say to the roommate, "Hey, I'm gonna be working for about an hour. Can you just
Yeah,
keep it
could you
down?"
just not do that? But no.
Um, okay, that was my first announcement, what Stevie told her dad. Number 2 was, my friend, I say that because it's true, he is my friend, John Hill, has a new podcast. It is called Show Pony, which is a great name for a podcast.
I love that.
'Cause he's a actor, he's a singer and a
Yeah,
dancer and all the things. He's a Broadway guy. Anyway, Show Pony is the name of his new podcast, and he is going to be just chatting in general because that's what he does, but he also is gonna be covering the Bravo show from early 2000s? I can't remember where it Workout with Jackie Warner. It was a show on Bravo about this woman. Yes.
yes!
Yeah. He
I
Isn't that funny?
remember that show.
He's going
That's a
back
riot.
he's going
I
back
love it.
in
Yes,
Bravo time, and,
I love that.
yeah, he's covering workout. So, he had a guy on this week that was a guy that he knows is like a fitness trainer, and they were talking about the about the workout aspect of it.
I love
Kinda
it.
funny. But he's not gonna be covering it turn by turn, he's gonna be kinda covering it broadly, but it is a fun idea for a show. Show Pony, it's really cute. So, I told him I would promote it because I love him, and he's very talented and funny.
Absolutely, and also you have, the Step by Step gals on, right?
Well, guess what? Yes, I booked them, and I had to change the date of their appearance. Not their fault, my fault, because forgetting that I'm going out of town Wednesday afternoon to France, I just overbooked myself. I have so much to do on Wednesday. So I wrote them and said, "I'm really sorry. I have overscheduled myself. So I will have the Step by Step girls on, and I believe they're going to be on May 14th.
Great.
We're working on the reschedule." I apologize profusely. I was like, "This is what I do sometimes to myself. I've overscheduled myself. I thought I could do everything, but actually, there's just not enough hours in that day before I have to leave to go to the airport. Not 3
Okay.
hours early, according to my husband."
I got the newsletter. I saw the
Yeah.
newsletter, so that's
Yeah.
why I thought, but
Yeah.
I
Changed
understand.
it,
The
and
changes happen.
Ingrid was thrilled with me that I changed that after she had got the newsletter
Sure
scheduled
she was.
to go out. She's like, "Great." They are coming on. The Step by Step girls are coming on. So what's gonna that was my 3rd announcement, actually. So this Thursday, instead of having like a Pop and Bravo, it will be Pop and Bravo because it's going to be episode 1 of The Valley, which Keisha and I put out last week because episode 2 is this week. So I'm sure I'll get a lot of people writing me to go, episode 2 is already out. Yes, I do know. I do know. But episode 1 will be on the free feed. So maybe you can see, like, if you like it, if you want to subscribe over there on the paid feed, which is generally what I do anyway. I just
Yeah.
didn't think I was going to be able to fit it all in, but now I can because I've got that spot. And I
Amazing.
also want to remind everybody that next Monday and Tuesday is going to be a double dose of Kimberly right here. This gal. Yeah, that's you.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
she looks
Did you
surprised,
see
but
my look
yeah.
of panic?
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, is the Baldwin's back on? Nice. You're right.
Yeah. Monday and Tuesday, Kimberly will be here. Monday, she'll be doing Love After Lockup with Keisha. And Tuesday, she will be doing 90 Day Fiance, this program with Matt.
So if you love me, this is your week. If you hate
Yes.
me,
Sorry.
sorry. You don't
Just
have to listen.
still listen. So I'll get the download. Even if you hate
Exactly.
Kimberly with the fire of a burning sun. No, you don't.
Do
You
it
don't.
for
You don't.
Mary Payne. Just
No.
set it to download and then don't listen. Thank you.
Everybody
And
loves
I hope you
Kimberly.
like
It's
me.
fine.
Thank you.
You like me. You really, really like me.
Also, it was so nice to not have to watch the Baldwins. The 2 shows on Sundays is just a lot, and so I try to do them early, think for the
Yeah.
screeners, but, if I don't, that it's just a lot, but it was really nice. "Oh, just 1 show today. 90 day, I can handle that."
I was glad about it too because I was like, oh, after I take these 90-day notes, then I got to go quickly take Baldwin notes. But it didn't because we don't have it this week.
Yeah. Yeah, very
But praise be to the Bravo gods, and maybe it'll come back. No, it was
and
TLC.
I
It was
miss
TLC.
Carmen. I miss Carmen and, the baby that swears and hits people.
A Lulu. No, no,
Lulu,
Lulu.
a
Lulu, no,
Lulu.
no. No, no.
Lulu.
No, no, Lulu. No, no. So those are our updates here. You will still get the $5 level Pink Shade Prime, which is 90-day last resort. Episode 406 of the reunion. I
Yeah,
don't
how
know.
many reunions?
There's 5
5?
total. I believe this
Oh,
week will
yeah.
be 4. You will get that episode. We're going to pre-record that. Think tomorrow, not even sure. So, yeah, I'm just not caught up on my life, but that's how it's going to be until middle of May. And then I'm going to be all caught up, and you won't even believe I'm going to be so relaxed. I'm just going to be like sliding off this chair. I'm going to be so relaxed. You're not even going to be
And
able to.
she's never going on vacation again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of vacation, so guys, I am going to France. My husband's there for work, or will be there whenever he leaves, and it's going for work. And so we're just going to be in Paris for 4 days. I've been to Paris before. I'm looking for things to do in Paris that are not things that everybody does. I want to go on Sunday to the flea market in the Marais. Everybody talks about the Marais. That's like the fun shopping hippy dippy district. I don't know, but I want to go to the
Mhm.
flea market on Sunday in the Marais. And then we literally have no dinner plans, no tourist plans. I want to go to the Louvre, to the fashion exhibit, and that's it. So if anybody has like, hey, you've definitely been to Paris a few times and you haven't done this, you should definitely do this. That's what I
Yeah.
want. That's what I need, people. That's what I need. Have you been to Paris, Kimberly?
No, but my aunt goes every year
Just
'cause
to
she's retired and she's spending my inheritance on
damn
trips
it.
to Paris. Yeah.
Can you ask her if she has an
And
off
then
the
I
beaten
watch the
path
dogs.
something? Yeah. Will you
Yeah, I
ask
can
her?
she'll absolutely have suggestions.
Now, your aunt's house didn't burn down, but she had a lot of friends whose house burned down. Is that the same aunt?
Yeah, 12 friends.
Crazy. Is
Yeah.
there any update from that they've talked about? It's
They're
gonna be so
talking about
long.
rebuilding. They have to decide. Yeah. I think
You've got
most of them are or maybe it's about half and half are rebuilding.
you've
Yeah.
just gotta just, like, wait for all
Wait
those
for
backhoes,
insurance and
insurance,
yep.
and
Mhm. Yeah, there's, like, soil issues because of
mhm.
toxins in the soil and all that. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Yeah.
Wow. So meanwhile, she's sleeping on your couch, that couch right there.
No,
Your aunt
she's in her house, she's fine.
okay. What if you saw this lady go, "Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello, I'm here. Hello." We're silly guys. All right, 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 10. Where did our love go? Where are the children? Where did our love go? I don't know who that reference is. We'll figure it out as we go, but I don't know.
Um,
The
Jade and Mark.
the throuple? I don't know. The throuple at
Yeah,
the
the
beginning.
throuple. That sounds right.
We're gonna
Yeah.
start with them because I am, as every week, so angry about the fakeness and the stupidness of this that we're being forced upon this couple. I just
Have we done seasons where, like, halfway through, you've just said, "I'm done with this"? these people and we've stopped covering them. I know we've started seasons by choosing not to cover people.
No, I don't think I've ever midway through been like, this is so stupid, I'm gonna just refuse. We have definitely beforehand been like, okay, this is gonna be an entire season where we're going to pretend like Angela doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
And then I've gotten, a revolt because people were like, love for me to blow out my voice doing Angela, but thank God
Right.
I don't have to do it anymore. And then, of course, I never covered season 1 of Last Resort because Big Ed and Angela
Ed.
were on there, and I was like, who am
No.
I even going to talk about?
No. Way too much.
Yeah, and then Kalani was like, I think pregnant with somebody else's baby while she was there.
Oh my God. And now her and Big Ed are on Pillow Talk together.
I think she's being held against her will. She definitely
She's doing it for the paycheck. She hates him. I
she
think she's
hates him.
burning that couch every time he leaves. She kind of looks at the couch like
She
sweaty,
really,
no
really
neck man was on my couch being
she
all
doesn't
gross.
enjoy him at all.
No,
No,
she
mm-mm.
barely tolerates him. I hear it. Girl, we gotta do things for a paycheck sometimes.
Yes, totally. All right, well, let's start on these people. So we'll start with the thruple, and they're in
I get up to
Ensenada.
go to the bathroom every time they're on TV, by the way. So
Oh,
if
you
I
do?
things it's not
Mm.
conscious. It's literally they come on the screen and I suddenly have to pee. And so I go take a bathroom break and then I just hear them in the other room
Your
talking about
body says it's time.
my body revolts by
Mhm.
needing to just get urine out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
So, they're in Ensenada. They're getting ready to leave to head back to Tijuana to meet her kids, question mark. And
The
Ani is
one
like
kid, right?
the one kid, yeah, but it seemed like they were talking about they were on this trip and couldn't wait to meet her other kids. So maybe next
Oh,
week. I don't
the ones
know.
that don't live with her. That I'm
Uh-huh.
curious about that.
That she's gonna just go to the United States 45 minutes away and not live
Right.
with those children.
Right.
Very unclear. So, they're in the car and she's like, and Amani says, we rented this Airbnb. And she goes, yeah, I have to return to work, honey. And she goes, what you do? And she goes, yes, baby, I have to pay my rent, honey. She says, honey. And sometimes she says it like, yes, honey, like you're stupid, you know?
Mhm.
The talking head, Amani says, I'm the jealous type. And I'm jealous of Ani's job. And I know it's hypocritical because that's the way we met her. But now I don't want her to
Yes.
do it anymore. Well, are you paying her rent? I don't think so.
No, or just pay for that night. So, like, how much she would make that night, maybe,
Hmm.
so they could spend time with her, but then that does feel a bit like prostitution, I guess.
Which is how they met her in the first place.
Yeah.
So in the talking head, Amani says, no. So, okay, sorry. So she's in the back seat and she calls Antonella, her daughter. And she's like, oh, look, my daughter's on the phone. They're like, hey. And they're like, oh, make sure, can you tell her in Spanish that we have gifts for her? And Ani goes, oh, God. She hangs up. She goes, oh, God, yeah, my daughter. She's just so used to all the presents. All my regulars bring her gifts just all the time. Oh, she just
What is
laughs and laughs.
happening?
It's
Like,
very
she's
strange.
poking the bear, like, it's so weird.
The laughing was strange. And so they're like, wait, no, really? And she goes, oh, yes, all the men's my regulars, honey. They all bring the gifts. And the talking head, Matt says, accepting gifts from other men appears available, like she's available. And that's a red flag. Now, what I've noticed now about Matt is that he goes in and out of many accents.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes he sounds like he's
They
from
both do.
Mississippi, where I'm from. And then other
Uh-huh.
times he sounds like Lauren of Lauren and Faith going, okay, me American, you stupid. You know what I mean? It's very weird.
He goes into Hilaria Baldwin sometimes
Yeah.
when he's talking to the wife, like he's
Yes.
doing a broken Spanish English,
Yes. He does.
Spanglish. It's very weird.
So speaking of, I went to a drag show in Vegas and the one drag queen, Miss Tiffany Bonet, she was kind of the head of the whole show. And I went and talked to her about Lauren and what information could she find. And she said, send me all the information on Instagram and I'll see what I can dig up on him. He sounds horrible. Yeah.
Yes, because he's in Vegas, right?
In the with the drag queens. Yeah.
Yes, the drag queens.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I hope there's tea.
Yeah. So I
Sounds
haven't, she
horrible.
hasn't read me back, but I
Oh,
was like, don't forget.
Faith and um
Rose.
Rose.
Speaking of
Did you
Big
see
Ed.
that? Did you see they did a video together and they're like And everyone was like, "Lauren and Ed, eat your heart out," you know?
Oh. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think Faith keeps going back and forth to Lauren, right?
She does, but she posts mostly stuff like, she posted a video where she was lip syncing to a song that references a man's tiny penis,
Oh, nice.
and, she was it was very much pointed towards Lauren, so she does a lot of those kind of, like, eat your heart out
Oh, okay,
videos.
good.
So I think she's done.
Oh, please. Your lips got tears.
Please,
Okay.
God. Yeah.
So they ask her, Amani and Matt say, "What have you told Antonella about us?" And she goes, "I have told them nothing, honey. She's just a baby." And then Matt speaks to her in this broken English and says, "We have told our daughter says, 'Who is she?' And we say, 'She family. You family.'" When 2 seconds ago, he was speaking in a Southern accent.
Yeah.
Um, and Amani goes, "I don't understand you, Ani. Like, your actions don't match your words." And she goes, "Okay, honey. I tell her nothing, honey. You just friend." It's like, okay.
She's like a petulant teenager. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And she, like, seems to enjoy making them jealous. Like she's
Yeah.
playing some sort of game.
I think you're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, they arrive at Ani's house, which is very nice and has lots of word art. She's taking a page out of
In
Jessica's book.
English.
English word art. Mhm.
Do they not
Rewind,
make Spanish word art?
relax, bubble bath, and then, like, good friends, good food, good wine, good times, like
Yes.
and then they're all, like, on the wall.
Yeah.
Um, and they're like, "It's just so great for us to see Ani in her environment." We can imagine co-parenting, tri-parenting. And Ani says they're in a talking head together, and she goes, "I don't know. I'm very strict. I'm very strict." And she's all like, "It would be okay if you're strict with our children." No, it would not be okay. These are
That's
no. You
weird.
don't know them. No.
No, this is
Mm-mm.
all weird.
All weird. Also, none of it's true. So the talking head Amani goes, "Look, I'm the jealous type, and I don't want, Ani doing that. I can't even imagine like some other man touching her. But when she comes to the United States, she won't be allowed to do that anymore. She won't be allowed to keep dancing." Like, okay. Once again, are you paying all her bills? Because that's her job.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't like she's allowed.
Yeah. It was just like, I won't have it. I won't allow it. So then Matt and Amani have gone to the Airbnb and they're chatting. And she's like, "It's so great, like to see her daughter." And he goes, "I do. I just love that little girl. She's just sweet as a button." Like, 5 minutes ago, you were speaking broken English, and now all of a sudden you're from Kentucky. What's going on
She's
here?
like going rodeo with, Stevie.
Yeah, it was very strange. And he goes, "But I just kind
He's
of."
code switching, but
He's code
that's not what it
switching.
is. I Kalari used that phrase wrong anyway, so
Yeah.
I can't.
So he says, "I'm just seeing more and more that she's not just mysterious with us. She's mysterious with all people.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell anybody the whole truth." And I think there's a little,
Mysterious is a nice way of saying lying.
yeah,
She's a liar.
yeah. And she's a user. Maybe she's a liar. And he says, "There's a lot about her that we don't know." And she says, "Yeah, I've got this really deep, dark, terrible secret thing to tell you. Like it's really going to be bad. It's really rough." And then she tells Matt that Ani said that she was more into her than she is to Matt, that she's really only in the relationship for her and not Matt. They act like this is the biggest, most tragic news that has ever happened, and that actually one of them has a deadly disease diagnosis. It's
It's called third wheel syndrome, and Matt has had it since the beginning, and I called it from the first episode, but
uh
that's I think what happens in a throuple, right? Not everyone has the exact same feelings for the other people at the same time. Like
yeah.
maybe at certain times you might be more hot for one person and then more hot for the other person.
Mhm.
Maybe? I mean, isn't that how life goes? It's not
Yeah.
how just a marriage between 2 people go. Like,
Yeah.
dynamics are always shifting. Like
Yes. Yes, it is. It's the same when if you have kids too, the dynamic is always shifting, or especially when the kids are little, they prefer one parent and the other parent gets their
mhm.
feelings hurt and all that.
Yeah.
Um, and out of out of Ani's 3 children, only 1 prefers her because the other 2
Yeah.
don't live with her. Same with Jasmine. So, but anyway, they're literally like, "This is the worst news ever." He's like, "Oh my god." And he goes, "You know what? I need time alone tomorrow to just think and be by myself. I just need to
I'm
be
gonna
alone."
go find some horses, some spurs, and a
And
posse.
he goes into his room and he's mumbling, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." And he says, "What did I get myself into? This is crazy." Rah, rah, rah." So,
Why
in the
did I sign
talking,
up for this show and fake a throuple?
yeah, yeah, leave my kids alone for 2 whole weeks in a whole other country. So, in the
45
talk
minutes away.
in the talking head, he says, I share this dream with Amani of, having this throuple, but I gotta get this whole situation fixed with Ani, or I'm ready to walk away. If she's not gonna like me more than my wife, I gotta leave." So that's it, and it's fake, and I hate them. The end.
Why don't they just I know they say they want, like, a love, like, a real love relationship, but
Mhm.
I really think they could just find somebody that would be like a sugar baby for them, you know?
Yeah,
A sex arrangement. Like, I don't
yeah.
see why you have to have the young I know that's what they say they want, but I
Mhm.
don't think that's what they really want.
No, they wanna be on this show, and they found
Yeah.
somebody who would be willing to be on the show, and by the way, Ani is not getting paid because they pay the Americans
Right.
and not the other person, so they'll have to figure out a way to get her money,
Yeah.
and so maybe she's just overacting so to make sure she gets her paycheck. I don't know.
Yeah. The whole thing is strange. I mean, reach out if you are in a successful throuple
Mm,
with children involved and marriage
mhm.
involved. I wanna know.
There's a new
I
show coming on, Polly
I'm all in.
Family. Mhm, Polly
I'm
Family. That
all
comes out
in.
at the end of April. I know Amy's gonna cover it, and I told Amy that we would just over on Hey Bunky, just do, like, Polly Corner at the end, and we would discuss it.
Yeah. I'm fascinated. I think maybe sometimes it can work, but with 3 people, it's that triangle
Mhm.
where someone's always gonna feel left out. That's what
Yes.
makes me nervous.
Yeah, I agree with all that. All right, let's move on to Mark and Mina. Mark and Mina
And Jordan and Jade. So,
and
too
Jordan
many
and
people
Jade and
involved in
Diana.
this relationship.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, Jade's walking up. I don't remember if we got a close up of her booty like we did last week. But then
No.
I thought, is she the big booty hoe from Love After Lockup that you and Keisha are always talking about?
That big booty bitch? No, it's
A
not
big
her.
booty bitch?
Mm-mm. That was like an Instagram model. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was
Mhm.
printed out like from the internet, right?
Yeah,
The
exactly,
photo.
yeah. Mhm.
So Jade walks up looking glamorous with adult braces and those fugly glasses that are so trendy, those
Yeah.
huge rim what you look like somebody named Edna, and I can't like a cartoon character. I Is it somebody
The
from one of those
Incredibles.
Pixar movies? Thank
The
you.
Incredibles, Edna.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
I hate those glasses, but they're very in. Um, Maybe I'll get them. So
Ingrid has some that are her readers, and she puts them on for readers, and they look very, like, chic, but she doesn't wear
yeah,
them all the time.
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and Jade did have adult braces. Am I
she
wrong on
did.
that? It took
She
me a
did.
sec to okay.
Mhm.
So, she walks up, they do the double French kiss, and she calls Mina gorgeous. So Mina is smiling, like, more than she's ever smiled since she's landed in America. She
I've
loves being
noticed
complimented.
Mina has a open mouth smile, she does this.
Uh-huh, and I'm like, "Is that a real
Yeah.
smile?
Uh-huh,
Is it
yeah.
going up to her eyes? I can't tell." So, Mina explains why she wanted to meet, that Diana confused her mind because she was that was Diana's whole purpose for that scene. That's why she was on the show. And Jade says, "I'm an open book. I'll answer any questions." So the first issue, Mark said he broke up with Jade, but
Mm.
Jade says, "No, I broke up with him because he was moving to Boston and I didn't want to." Now Boston has
Boston?
entered the chat. I didn't know Boston was involved.
Mina would probably
So
like Boston. It's a
she
big
would
city.
it's a
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
So there's our normal grocery stores that don't
Yes.
have gas station wine and pasta.
Yeah.
So that gas station pasta, never forget.
Mm.
So Diana said he was still talking to Jade while he was talking to Mina.
Mm.
And Jade says there was a time where we had broken up, but we were trying to do long distance, but that did not last long. So it didn't work. When we broke up, we were done. You have nothing to worry about. I'm in a new relationship. I'm very happy. I have no feelings for Mark. And then she says, he texts me to check up on me, like to say, "How are you doing?" but not when he was with you. But then in her talking head, she says, he does still check up on me, but not to get back together, just to like say, hi, how are you doing?
I wonder how old she is. She looks younger than Mina.
She does look younger than Mina. She
Mhm,
looks like
mhm,
30 tops. Yeah.
mhm.
So we're not quite sure on the timeline, but she's very clear that like it's not romantic.
Yeah.
And she is annoyed that he's telling people he broke up with her. And
Yeah.
she's like, look, obviously I broke up with him. Like, do you see how young I am? I have braces, for God's sakes. Like, I broke up with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's just get that straight. I'm glad I came on the show for that one purpose. So
Mhm.
America knows I broke up with Mark.
Yeah.
That old man did not break up with me. So she thinks maybe he lied to say I broke up with, or he broke up with me, like to make it sound better, or to convince Mina that he was over me, but he maybe wasn't at that time.
Mhm.
But I think he is now. So she does tell Mina there was a time where she caught him messaging an ex about taking her to Martha's Vineyard.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, was he going to buy her a car too? What was it? A Corvette, a Bentley, something? And
BMW. BMW.
BMW.
Mhm.
And so that was one of the reasons they broke up. And Mina is thinking if he did that to Jade, what would stop him from doing that to me? So it seems like she's really questioning things. And then Jade says, "When is the wedding? Are you excited?" After everything that I just told you, that he cheated on me, and yeah, are you excited to marry him? And she's like, I'm nervous. I have problems with his family. And Jade's like, oh, I had problems with them too. Let me give you some tips. Worry about the mom. The mom is way too involved in his relationships. What about Jordan?
That was a shocker. That was a shocker.
The mom was doing the peace summit
Mhm.
at like at the compound to
Yeah.
and holding hands, having them hold hands together, and in a holding hands like throuple, they were all holding hands and
Yeah.
pledged to be honest with each other. But Jordan apparently didn't cause problems with Jade. It was just the mom, which is very interesting.
Maybe the
So
mom put it in Jordan's head to stir some shit so that she could come in and be the peacemaker and look like the good guy.
totally. She's a
Mhm.
politician. So
Mhm.
Mina brings up the prenup and how the family brought it up and Mark didn't have her back in that moment. And Jade says Mina is in with for the long haul with this family. They are a nightmare. And once they decide they don't like somebody, it's over, which is exactly what happened with Mina. They all got this bad impression at the baptism because she was 4 hours late.
Mhm.
And now they all hate her. There
Mhm.
might be other things going on too. Like, I don't want to accuse them of anything, but
Let's don't.
there's let's not. But they
Okay.
just really don't like her. At least Jordan really doesn't.
They didn't
So,
like Jade
Mina,
either, though.
yeah, they don't like Jade either.
Yeah.
So, but you know who does is on Jordan's side is still Lauren from Pillow Talk, and I don't understand. Lauren and Alexi. I just don't get it.
They're on
Um,
whose side?
Jordan's. She
Uh,
is. She thinks
okay.
she's like, "I would be so pissed with my dad if he wanted to have another baby. No way. Like, that's gross, and I would never let him do that." And Alexi was like, it's not your decision. You're not in this imaginary situation, that's not your place to say it's their relationship."
Totally.
But
Okay,
doesn't it
Lauren.
track that Lauren would be, like,
Yeah,
on
sometimes she has
Jordan's
wrong
side?
takes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then Mina says, "Do you like Diana's clothes?" at her store.
Uh-huh.
And I thought she was gonna be like, "'Cause I thought they were gross," or so, because I thought they were
Yeah.
tacky. But Jade's like, "Yes, I love her clothes." And then Mina goes, "I was upset. I spent so much money. I spent like $1,000 of Mark's money." And Jade says, "I would have spent 2,000." And then Mina's like, "He's gonna block you because he's gonna think you're a bad influence on me." And they're like laughing and about spending Mark's money. It's very sweet. And then Mina says, "Jade is the nicest person I've met since I've been in America." And
Yeah.
I was like, "What about Martini Pat? How are you gonna do Martini Pat like that?" She was very nice to you.
Martini Pat is 30 to 40 years older than Mina, and Jade
But
is in her same age range.
she was still nice
She
to
was. Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
So, Mina says, "Let's keep in touch. Let's hang out. Like, do you wanna come to the wedding? That would be funny." And Mina says, "I
This
get."
went totally opposite the way I thought it was gonna go.
Totally opposite. They're best friends now. And
Mhm.
Mina says, "I get why Mark was with her. Like, we're very similar, and that's his type,
Y
apparently.
yeah.
So, I get it." So, she goes back to the hotel to Mark, and she says, "First of all, I was hoping that she was not gonna be ugly because" and he's like, "Why?" And she says, "'Cause everyone says I'm the new her. So, if she's ugly, that means I'm ugly, but she was
Oh.
pretty.
Mhm.
So, I felt better." So she said, she told me she's happy in her new relationship. Nothing's going on with between you two, so I'm not worried about her. And she did say that your family did not give her space in the relationship. And, if we have a problem, if it's an issue between us and it needs to stay that way. And he says, "Yeah, I promise I'll try to be better, boundaries and put a separation between my family. That's my fault." And then he says, "Are we good now?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're good. And I trust you." And they kiss and hug. And I was like, Jade told you she caught him cheating. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you just forgetting that part? And they all kiss and make up.
Did you notice, though, when they were kissing and the baby comes up, and he picked that baby up by one
One
arm,
arm. One
and
arm. I noticed, but
I
I
was
didn't think
very upset.
see, I'm not a parent, so I don't feel comfortable saying it, but I was like, "I don't think you're supposed to do that."
I mean, he could have pulled her
Can't
arm completely out of the socket.
I feel like I've heard of that happening. I feel like I've heard of that happening when parents do the swingy thing, but,
Yeah,
the 2
uh-huh,
parents both on the
yeah.
outside. I've heard you're not supposed to do that, but again, I don't have kids. I didn't feel comfortable. I'm glad you brought it up because I also noticed it.
Well, because I watched it twice. I watched it when it was on, and then I watched it to take notes, and I was like, "Ah, don't do
Yeah,
that." Like, just up
yeah.
under the armpit, he just picked her up. I was like, "Damn, take
Yeah,
one
well, they
hand off
left
the."
that baby in a plane, Mary Payne, so they're not the best parents.
That's true, but I thought it was cute that they were like, "Mwah, mwah, mwah," family kiss.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we can move on to Stevie and Maddie, and now we know the story of how Stevie got her dad to film. If you missed the first part because you skipped it because you thought it was boring, you missed something important. Okay.
Valid.
Mhm.
No, I say skip it. It's
No.
just us being dumb.
51 days to wed. So, they are working on their English videos, which she told me that's how they first started becoming friends was because they did these English videos together and they had no desire to ever date or anything. But their students were saying you should be on 90 Day Fiance. And they were like, "What's that?" Also, we're just friends.
So that's interesting.
Mhm.
But they didn't, become a couple for the show, to be
No.
clear. They're not
No.
faking it.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm. No. So sorry. Sorry, I had a, that's great audio. I had a cough drop in my mouth that I needed to take out. Okay, sorry about that. So 51 Days to Wed, they're working on their English videos, and then he says, "I have a surprise for you. Pack casual clothes. We're going somewhere." She's like, "What?" Okay, so she goes to pack and, like, is showing him clothes. He goes, "I'm gonna say everything's fine because 'cause I'm a guy, so don't ask me." So they
Also, he
drive.
does always sound like that, like he's about to a serial killer, like, about to take her to
Yeah.
a field to dig her own grave.
Mhm. Oh
Like,
god,
"I
wow.
have something I wanna show you."
It's
But then
totally
he says it with,
normal.
like, a little smile, and
I
I'm
know.
like, "Oh, you're so cute, though."
So they get in the car and they're driving, and he goes, "Yeah, the thing about the place that we're going is it's 3 states over, so you just have to keep." She's like, "Wait, what?" So they're driving and driving
And
and
you have to drive
driving.
on 50 bridges to get there. You need to
That's
ask
right.
her about the bridges too. She's terrified of bridges.
We did say something about the bridge. Maybe it was off mic, but I was like, "Oh, saw that bridge," and I said it was the Huey P. Long, and people said, "No, it was that." She was like, "No, it was the blah blah blah." I was like, "Yeah, well, Huey P. Long is also long and only over marsh." And she's like, "I know, it's so scary." Um, so they drive and gets annoyed because he makes a joke. She gets annoyed because he makes a joke about like going back to Iran. Like, what if we get somewhere and I don't like it? And he's like, "Oh, I'll just leave you there. We'll go back to Iran." I don't know. Anyway, she didn't like that joke. It's
No,
too
he needs to
soon.
stop making that joke. It's too
Yeah.
soon. Yeah.
So they go to Ocean Springs, Mississippi, which is just on the coast. There's like Pascagoula, there's Ocean Springs, there's Biloxi, all right there together. It's all these cute little towns right there on the coast. And they go to this like cute Airbnb. She said she's always wanted to. I'm sure she's been to Ocean Springs. I think she's always probably wanted to go to this particular like bed and breakfast or whatever.
Mhm.
So she's like, look at this. It's so cute. This is so exciting. And so you can tell she's like, okay, something's going on here. But like, I'm supposed to follow him. Like he knows where he's going. I mean, he's never even been to this country, much less Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Yeah,
So
this was a lot of planning for him
it
for
was.
not being familiar with it. Like, I was impressed.
And she posted kind of some pictures from the engagement and thanks for all these people for helping it come together. So I guess maybe there were some friends there that helped, you
Yeah.
know? So, in the talking head, Maddie talks about like she sent me all these videos of people like getting engaged, and the person like gets down and kneels, and like I don't understand. Like it's like you're being knighted with a sword. Like I didn't understand why you have to get on
Like,
your
they're
knees.
gonna chop your head off in
Yeah, he's
medieval
like
times.
he didn't understand, but
I
he said
love that
that.
she's just sending him inspiration, like,
Mhm,
nudge, nudge.
yeah, you don't have to do this at all, but if you did,
Right. This is
yeah,
what I love, just so
mhm,
you know.
if you did do it, I wouldn't be mad.
No,
So,
don't girls do like, "This is so cute. Isn't this so cute? Isn't this so sweet?" Like, "I love
yeah,
this ring. Look at this photo," but they
mm.
don't say, like, specifically why they're sending the photo. Just like, "Oh, I just thought it was pretty, so
Yeah,
I sent it to
I
you."
just did a lot of, "This is the kind of ring I want, and don't get
Good.
me something else."
Be
Yeah,
direct. Yeah,
because I don't want anything else.
yeah.
So, okay, so we talk about the kneeling. Okay, so they're walking on the street, and she's like, I'm worried we're lost. Like, you don't know where we're going." He's like, "Nope, just go with it." So they get to the beach. They see a yoga class on the beach. So he's like, "Should we walk on the sand?" She's like, "It's gonna be cold, but okay." And they walk on the cold sand, and he's telling her, "I just wanted to bring you out here to tell you that I love you." And she's like, "I love you too." She's like cutting him off. And he goes, "And I'm 100% about my decision to come here and to stay here with you." And she's like, "Okay, that's nice." And he goes, "And look over there." And it's like some crates and candles and some like shabby chic setup,
Mhm.
with "Marry Me." And he goes, "Over there." And there's a sign that says "Marry Me." And thank goodness it wasn't windy because the letters would have blown away. And there's candles that I guess if it was dark, which I guess probably it's about to be dark. And he kneels down, and he proposes. He's got the ring. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, yes." It's very cute. The yoga
Yeah.
class cheers. And, she hugs him and cries. It's all very sweet and nice, and they're engaged again.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a second engagement.
Yeah. It was she does say in the talking head, she goes, "I just wanted another ring. I didn't care. I mean, you could just give me the ring and said, 'Will you marry me?' And I would've said, 'Okay.'" Like, but she seemed to be happy that he put all
She
that
was
thought
very
into it.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody likes somebody just to put a little thought into it. It's nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, and he said, "I was thinking cringe the whole time, but I was doing it for her."
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was like, "Ugh, I hate this. Cringe."
It's funny that he said, "I was thinking in my mind the whole time, cringe, cringe, cringe." It's so funny how his phrases and everything are so, like, American, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
He's really leaned in.
yeah.
I like it a lot.
I'm fixing to propose. Yeah,
I still never heard that, but that was funny.
yeah.
Now, let's move on to Greg and Joan, and I did notice the rap music they had playing for them.
Right?
Yeah.
Every single time they intro him, it's hip hop. I don't know why.
It's like
Um,
straight outta Compton, straight out of
yeah,
Islip Terrace, New York. What are we doing?
yeah.
Yeah.
So he has his interview with another state job because only state jobs. I still
Right.
do not understand. There
Right.
are small businesses there. And he says it's more his wheelhouse. It's plumbing and carpentry and stuff. Again,
Mhm.
does he have any official training or like licensing in those fields? No. Okay.
I don't think
So
so. Mm-mm.
we've only seen him do plumbing for neighbors in exchange for bread and stuff.
And he
So
didn't even fix it. He was like, "It's gotta be something in the
yeah,
sewer line.
I don't
Good
know.
luck."
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is above my pay grade.
Mhm.
So, he's all sweaty and nervous, and Joan kisses him goodbye, and it's like, mwah, 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 like, way too many kisses, and Lucille, the mom, is like, "That's enough.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucille. I've never
Mhm.
been on your side before. I'm on your side now."
Too much.
So, Lucille says, "You know, Lucille says to Joan, I could use your help with a fun project. You're like, ooh, like arts and crafts. What are we doing? And Lucille says, Joan doesn't seem depressed. She doesn't like just sit around moping. Like the other day she asked me for a mop so she could clean the bathroom that she and Greg are using. So
Mhm.
I think she's fine here. She's cleans. It's fine. So
She's working.
yeah, Lucille comes up with a laundry basket filled with misfit socks,
Uh-huh.
unmatched socks. How were there so many socks? There's like 100
And
single socks.
as far as we know, only 2 people live there.
2 people live there. All of the socks are black or white.
Uh-huh.
Does Greg have that many socks? Are they all Greg's? I know she does his laundry, but
This
does
reminded
she do them
me
for the neighborhood? Like he passes out bread and she
does their
washes
laundry?
the socks of neighbors? I don't understand.
It was so many socks that it took 2 people to sort them out, but it reminded me a lot of Love Is Blind and, oh god, her name is, dark hair, it'll come to me in a second. Her family had a sock bin, and the whole
Uh-huh.
family shared socks.
What?
The whole family, mom, dad, sisters, grandparents lived there. The whole family shared. They had a sock bin, and when you needed socks, you just go to the sock bin and pull them out for the whole family.
What? That
It's the
is
so weird.
psychopathic.
Monica. It's Monica, that was her name. Yeah,
The
Monica
socks
and
come
Joey.
in different sizes. Do they know that? That socks come in different sizes?
Yeah, and it's like
And
if
they do
dad needs
different things. Like you might
dad
need a
needs
thin
yeah,
sock for
yes,
something and then a thick
yeah,
cushion sock for running or something.
yes.
What is happening? That is insane. That's like that family that shared bathwater on extreme cheapskates because they would just fill the tub once and then get in and out. And then the next one, in and out. And the last
No,
one was not getting clean. And that's
no.
nasty. That is what that is to me. That's like sharing underwear. I don't understand. That's
I d
gross.
I was like, "Alright, so dad needs, like,
I reject this whole
knee
thing.
socks for work," and then they lived in Minneapolis, and then somebody might be going out to shovel, so they need, like, the super thick socks, and then somebody else might be going for a jog, and they need running socks. So
So
you gotta,
keep
like,
those socks.
dig through a bin?
Yeah, that makes that's uh,
It was a big
did
topic of
someone
discussion.
did someone get together with this lady because now they're gonna be involved in the sock trade, and they're gonna, like, have to be part of the family sock exchange.
Well, Joey, who was engaged to her, was like, "I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. When
No,
we get married," which they didn't get married, "when we get married, I will not be sharing socks with you. I will have my own sock
no,
drawer."
we're
Yeah.
gonna have our own family traditions, and we are not sharing socks in this
Yeah.
household.
But that's what it reminded me of because it was that many socks, but it was like 6 people. This is 2 people as far as
2
we know.
people, Joan and Greg, 2 people.
Yeah.
I'm so mad. Why are there why pick a colored sock in there, like, just once in a while, have a blue sock or something. It was
Yeah.
all black and white. They're all the same. Why how are there so many mismatched socks? Because they're all the same. So,
And
like,
also, what
you're
else is she
washing them
doing?
just
Why is this such a big project? It took to
why
5
does
minutes.
she just take socks out every time she does laundry? She just takes the socks out, doesn't even attempt to match them, and puts them in a bin for later? You're making the job much bigger than it has to be if you
I
just
bet.
match them each time you do laundry.
I bet that's right. I bet she saw Love Is Blind and was like, "You know what we're gonna have in this house? A shared sock bin. That seems like a great idea."
She
Yeah,
is the type that would want a shared sock bin with her son. She loves
that's
her
true.
Greggy poo.
A little different.
So, the fun project is matching socks.
Mhm.
Like, it wasn't arts and crafts. I was
No.
very sad because fun project, I think, like, we're gonna make a fun banner or we're gonna, like, bake cookies together or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Go to Disneyland. They're making folding socks. But Joan's into it, like, 'cause Joan is very type A, so she's like, "Sure, yeah, we gotta match these socks, let's do it."
Yeah.
So they're folding the socks, and, Joan explains that, where she's from, they hand wash everything, and it takes hours, and America makes things so much easier. And Lucille says, Is your family still gonna come to the wedding?" And she says, "Yeah, they filled out all the forms, but they have to do an interview and all this other stuff. It's a really hard process and they might not be able to come. And I'll be really sad if I don't have any family at the wedding."
Yeah.
And Lucille says, "Yeah, that's sad, but I hope we make you feel welcome here." like when I monitor your shower use by complaining about the water bill every
Right.
month, and when I make jokes about fattening you up, and when I am constantly worried that I'm going to hear you have sex if you are ever out of my eye line. That I just think you're doing it. So does that make you feel comfortable? And Joan's like, yeah, of course. I'm very comfortable. Thank you. And Joan's like, if there's anything you're not liking, though, you could tell me. And I was like, don't do it, Joan. It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. But then Joan set her own trap.
Joan goes, I like yeah, she did. She trapped the trapper.
That's right.
Joan goes, I like everything. You're very kind and loving. And Lucille's like, you probably miss your food, like she's trying to get her to say something bad. And Joan's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do miss my food. And we could use more privacy. And and Lucille's like, "Oh, privacy?" She goes,
Mhm.
"Yeah, you're always home." And Joan goes, Lucille goes, "I'm always home." And I was like, "Abort, Joan, abort.
Yeah.
Walk
Yeah.
away."
Yep. Yep. No.
You fell right into the trap. And Joan
Yeah.
goes, "Yeah, maybe you could leave the house more." And Joan says to us, I'm a direct person and I'm very grateful to Lucille, but she has made it too easy for Greg to stay here and be too comfortable. And I want us to move out.
Yeah.
So Lucille says to Joan, oh, well, that you think I'm home too much. It offends me a little bit. And Joan just kind of shrugs. And it's so awkward, and
Yeah.
Joan doesn't seem to be bothered at all. I do not understand this personality that doesn't care if you're sitting in awkwardness. Like, I
Yeah.
would cry just from the tension in the air. Like, and she just doesn't even seem to care.
I would have started, like, tripping over talking,
Yeah.
trying to explain myself. Like, "That's not really what I
Yeah.
meant. What I meant was, like, I think it would be so good for you to get some
Good
fresh
for
air
you.
because being in the house is really bad, and I'm just thinking of your health," and I would
Yeah,
just
yeah,
start,
yeah.
like, spiraling.
Mhm. So Joan is like, Lucille goes, well, it is my house. And
Mhm.
Joan goes, I know. And just keeps folding socks. And Lucille tells us, I can't believe she said that to me. I can't believe she gave me a complaint when I specifically asked her for a complaint. And why she seems so ungrateful that, I'm letting them stay here. And Joan is saying, you're right. It is your house and we're the intruders, but we're going to move out soon. Don't worry. And Lucille says, I'm sure that'll make you happy. And Joan says, yeah, I can't wait. And they're just like sitting there in the tension. And so Lucille is pissed. She's going to tell Greg. Again, you asked her, you lured her into this landmine,
Mhm.
and now you're mad. So when Greg comes home, he says to his mom, like, I'm not sure how the interview went. They were asking me a lot of technical questions, and I just do this as like a hobby for my bakery. And so
Yeah. Yeah, he
I
didn't
don't know.
you can imagine if it was an electrical and plumbing job, yeah,
Right.
they were asking you technical questions so you don't, like, accidentally burn down a government building, you know? Yes.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you're like, I know how to make a sourdough starter. And they're like, that's not what this job is. So Lucille tells Greg, well, we were folding socks. I had this fun project for Joan, and she said I should get out of the house more. That is not
Mhm.
how that happened at
Right.
all. It's
No.
not like you were just sitting there folding socks and Joan out of nowhere said, "You should get out of the house more."
Right.
Again, that's not how that happened. And
Correct.
Greg's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, mom. Joan is very direct, and we appreciate you letting us be here. I hope you know how much we appreciate, you letting us be here." And Lucille's like, "Yeah, fine." And so
Mm.
Greg goes out to talk to Joan by the chickens,
He's like,
and
"Honey, where is that crazy gal? Is she outside?"
where's her she said that
Oh,
shouldn't have said that. We gotta play the Lucille game, and you gotta
yeah.
keep Lucille happy, and she
Yeah.
didn't do it. So, he goes out to talk to Joan. She says, "Out of 100, how did the interview go?" And he says, "I like 75 or 80." She is like, that is not acceptable to Joan. Joan
No.
is a straight A student,
Yep.
and she would not settle for anything less. Again, she was better at school than him. She's better at work than him. She's better at, like, general hygiene than him. She
Yes.
just seems to be better than him in everything, and I do
Yes.
feel like she is out of his league, and
Yes.
it makes me sad for him, but also you're punching above your weight here. You gotta
Yeah, all of it.
you
Mhm.
gotta work harder
Yeah,
to earn Joan.
yeah,
So she's like, that's not good enough. Like, I would never settle for a 75. Like, no way. And so then he says, so what did you say to my mom? You said she should get out of the house more. And Joan says, well, I just wanted to see her reaction. I was testing her patience. And Jo Joan says she's trying to see what she can say and not say to Lucille without her getting mad.
it's a little fucked up.
What?
It's a little I was like, "Maybe I
Very strange.
misunderstood," but that's very strange.
It's like a toddler, like, testing the boundaries of their parents or something?
Uh-huh.
Like, how much she can get away with? I
Yeah,
think she sees, like, Joan and is gonna fake nice for a while, and she's like, "How far can I push this fake nicety?" And, like,
mhm,
maybe she wants to get Lucille mad at her, so they have to move out
yeah,
sooner.
mhm,
Or she wants to, like, break up the pact of Greg and Lucille, which is like an unholy, unhealthy alliance between a mother and a son that are
yeah,
too close.
mhm.
So she's, like, definitely playing this game. And so he's like, "Are you testing me?" And she's like, "Yep, all the time." Like, and he's like, "Are the tests ever gonna stop?" And she's like, "No, I don't
Mm,
think
not
so."
not
This is what
until not
happens,
until we
Greg.
get an apartment.
Not till we get an apartment. This is what happens when you're with someone that's way smarter than you. They can play these, like, mind games with you, Greg, and you won't even know.
And then she
So
told him she's playing the mind games. And so he's
yeah,
like,
and
"Oh,
he's
okay."
still gonna, yeah,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
realize. So then Joan tells us 2 days before she came to the States, she wanted to back out and almost didn't come. Like, that's how lucky he should feel that she's there, and
yeah,
it has not been easy for her. They're living in the mom's house, and she's like, "I have no one here." And he takes his mom's side. And I was testing him too, basically, like, if he would take my side in this argument, and he didn't. He was kinda like, "You shouldn't have said that to my mom."
yep.
I mean, she needs a job, Joan, because she's bored at home. This is like when those students are, like, in a grade too easy for them, and they need to be
Um,
moved up because 'cause
yeah,
they're bored.
yeah. She needs to use her powers for good and not evil. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she can't get a job. They're not married. Even after they get married, she still has to wait, like, 3 or 6 months. It's, like, a long
Mhm.
time before she can have a job. But she could there's only so many socks she can sort. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
she needs to get
also
Greg's finances in order
yeah,
and maybe start doing some long-term financial planning for the bakery and things like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it's just sort of like, "Hey, Lucille, now that I'm here, you don't have to be home all day because I can do the stuff around the house, so you could go drive or Uber drive or whatever she does." Um,
Go on a date. Like, have a club, like, you have friends, like, do you
didn't he
know?
say she likes to go on cruises with her friends?
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he say that, or
Buy
did
them,
we
well,
say
they
that?
can't buy them a cruise. They can't afford a cruise,
I
so
think maybe we said that.
no,
Didn't
I
we?
feel like he said, "I need my mom to, like, go on a cruise with her friends."
Oh, okay,
She
or
needs
maybe
to get maybe Juan can get her a discount on a cruise.
maybe so. Can he give me a discount? I'd like to go on a cruise. No, I don't wanna go
I would
anywhere
love
else. I'm so
No,
tired.
you're not going on
Yeah, I
vacation.
can't go any more trips. I'm so tired. Let's move it on to Shekinah and Sarper, and wow, this was, something. So
Wow is right.
so they're headed to Whitefish, Montana to meet up with 3 of her 5 sisters. There's 6 sisters total. She is the oldest, which I did not realize.
I didn't
She's oldest of the 6. They go to
It's
the
because she
airport.
sounds like a baby. She does that Kardashian baby voice,
Yeah,
so
she does, and she doesn't act
hard to
like the
take someone
oldest.
no, not at all.
Yeah. So they're in the airport and they see like a moose head and he's calling it a goose, which I think is probably a bit. I think he probably knows a goose is a bird. She hasn't been to Montana in 2 years and she loves it there. And she reminds us of her upbringing. She grew up in an Amish lifestyle and then
Mhm.
the dad
Kind of
decided
Amish, like
kind of,
fringe Amish.
yeah, but wore the little prairie dresses and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then they moved on to a conservative upbringing, not as conservative as Amish when she was 16 and they lived like an off-grid life. They used gravity for rainwater, they used a generator, they lived an off-grid life when she was 16.
I mean,
So
all the makeup and the injections make sense because you swing from one direction to the other
yeah,
if there's those extremes.
yeah. I mean, she looks totally different. This
Yeah.
whole like nose to mouth situation
No,
is
and all of her
totally
siblings look like that. So
yes,
it's like the pendulum has swung for all of them.
yeah, totally. So she gives Sarper a cowboy hat, and he's like, "Oh, cowboy hat, will you make fantasy with me for cowboy? Ride him, cowboy, ride me,
He
Sarper, or
also says
whatever."
like coo boy, coo. He says it very funny, like cool. Cow
Um,
cowboy. I can't do it the way he
well,
does it, but it's very
unlike
funny.
Matt, who's faking some sort of accent, this is his real
Right.
accent. He
Yeah.
is, in fact, from Istanbul.
Yeah.
So he says the scenery there in Montana is like a Bob Ross painting. Who knew? He knew who
Well,
Bob
he
Ross was. Wow.
he knows everything. He is a smart
S-
cookie, and he knows a lot about American culture, I think.
Yeah, he does. And the talking dead, he says, I'm worried about meeting these sisters. I have a lot to prove to them, especially, the way I acted to Shariah. So they go ride therapy horses, and, Sarper worries about riding the horse because he has these big balls and he's concerned that they will hurt on the horse.
Didn't need to hear
No,
that.
uh-uh. But he loves the horses, and, they do a lot of like, what horse speaks to you and blah, blah, blah. And he rides the horses. So, we're reminded of his past interaction with Shariah. And she goes, because of the way you acted that time, remember when you called me a bitch and a whore and a slut right to my sister? Remember when you did that? Um, and then you fought with my sister about how rude it was. Now you're going to have to work on making a good impression on Shariah, especially since you were so off with that last time. He's like, oh, I know I act so terrible. And she goes, your past behavior is your own fault. These are things you did. And he's like, yes, I was so terrible, Sarper,
Why
bad
does
Sarper.
she sometimes, like, flips. She'll be, like, very supportive, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden she'll be very bitchy and, like,
Yes.
she knows he has anxiety. Like, he has OCD, he has
Yeah.
anxiety, and he knows he has to make a good impression, and you're like, "Own up to your past behavior, blah, blah, blah," like,
Yeah. But
scolding him.
the other time
You
she's like,
just did the
babe,
horses. Yeah,
babe,
exactly.
you're so cute on the horse, babe.
Did you learn nothing from the therapy horses?
Yeah,
Like,
it is. She does. And I think a lot of times that bitchy behavior is her trying to make herself feel like, look at me, I'm standing up for myself,
right.
she's trying to
Mhm.
tell herself.
Yeah.
So today is the day, it's the next day they're going to meet with the sisters. Their Montana hero shot is crazy. She's in some like Catholic schoolgirl outfit. It's
Yeah,
very
she
strange.
was. Mhm.
Doesn't fit the scenery at all.
I mean, I appreciate a woman not feeling like they have to dress for their age.
Mm-mm, mhm.
But
Okay.
sometimes she's dressed like "Hit Me Baby One More Time," and then
Yes.
in the next scene, she has those little, like, butterfly clips, like, doing the little,
Yeah.
"Are you 12 or are you 45? What's
There's
happening?"
so much going on there with her family. And,
Yeah.
we won't go into it, but we know that like her dad currently is still in jail, I think, for being a bad guy with the other sisters. I don't know what ages
Jesus.
they were, but
Yeah.
it's bad. So, you can
Yeah.
just look that up. So, okay. So
Ugh.
she kinda has her blue contacts in to meet the sisters, and whenever she's done it before, I'm staring so hard at her face trying to figure out what it is. It's because she puts in these blue contacts. It's
You're
freaky.
right.
It's
Yeah,
very
you're right.
strange
Uh-huh.
because then her talking head, her eyes are totally brown.
Mhm.
Um, so the sisters and one boyfriend named Jay walk in. It is like the way that they're filming it is like an OK Corral shootout. It's like, "Da-la-la," and they're like, "Shh, shh," with their spurs walking up like, "Hi,
Right,
little
but,
lady." Let
like,
me guess,
covered with
sarsaparilla.
tattoos and, like, the most, like, trendy, like, biker goth
Yes.
chic something, like,
Yes.
but, like,
Yes.
Western, gauges in the ears, like, but neck
Yes.
tattoos, like, but it's very, like, a combo of lots of different styles, I
And
feel like.
a lot of turquoise jewelry
Yes,
and,
yes,
like, like strings on the fingers, like a ring, but like a chain that goes to your
What?
nose. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it
like, I can't understand the fact like, it's so many different styles. I mean, whatever. It's just a
maybe
lot. It's a
maybe
lot.
that's the way, like, the tattooed gothy people do it in Montana. If you're in Montana and you're in Whitefish, let us know if that's the
Yeah.
way the tattoo crowd dresses there.
Is there, like, a little bit of the patchouli hippie that comes in
No,
or
I don't
the,
think
like,
so.
indigenous people, like,
Maybe.
their influence and then, like but, like,
Yes.
also you're in a biker gang, so you wear
Yes.
leather too, and then,
Uh-huh.
like, it's confusing, but
It was
it's just a
confusing.
lot, it's too much, I think, and they need to do that, like, where you spin around and the first thing that you see you take off, 'cause
Mm.
maybe that would help, it's just a lot.
And it's a lot of people wearing it, so it's not just like
Yeah.
one sister had that look. The 3 sisters had that look, and then Jay was off on his own planet.
Yeah.
Um, so they walk in, and it was like, it's a lot
It's
to
I
look
didn't
at.
know who to look at. It
Yes,
was just,
yeah,
like, overwhelming.
yeah.
Sensory overload.
So, there's 2 sisters there, no, there's 3 sisters there. There's Shariah, Ziona, Mariah, Shekinah.
Yeah, mhm.
So that's 4 of the 6. So, Shariah says to Ziona, "I'm interested to see if anything is different with them. Like, I'm interested to see if, like, he's gotten better." And then the sister with the two-tone hair, Mariah, says, "You know, Shekinah's so awful. They're probably a good match." I was like, "Whoa." She always picks the wrong dudes. Ugh. So, boyfriend
I mean,
Jay,
true,
I
probably
mean,
true.
yeah. Boyfriend Jay has face and neck tattoos, and I said, "Everybody's tatted up and has a lot of turquoise jewelry. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
So they walk in, he's like, "Look at me, America. I got this T-shirt in the airport. So cute." So they order
That was cute.
drinks. They
He's
talk about
funny, like, they all laughed and, like,
yeah.
at that joke, like, this could have set things off on a nice path.
Yeah, and he's talking about their tattoos, like, he has tattoos, but not as many as them where he's from, he's got a lot, and they talk about how much he loves sweet potato fries and,
Yeah, it was
you're not
all cute at the beginning.
I love sweet potato fries too. I do.
I do not, but
Really?
yeah, I hate
Vegetarian
them.
and you don't like them?
I hate things that are sweet that are supposed to be salty, like, I don't like kettle corn, like, I
Oh,
want it to just be salty and
okay.
not any sort of hint of sweetness. Don't like that. Keep them
Mm,
separated.
gotcha. Well, I like a sweet potato fry, especially if it's got a lot of, like, sea salt on it, like,
Mm.
super salty, crispy. Mm. So he tells them, "Oh, I met with Sophie," and they're like, "How'd that go?" And he goes, "Well, I think it went okay, but I still have a lot to prove, and she really wants me to make a good impression on the family." He says, "Because, I didn't make a good start with Shariah." And she's like, "Mhm." And, Ziona says, "How's it going with the trust between you 2? Like, are you checking his DMs or what?" He goes, "No, I'm never talking to girls. No one's in my DM, nothing like that." And Ziona goes, "How's that going?" And she goes, "It's called trust, okay? You have to trust your partner, Ziona." Wow, wow. It's called being in a relationship, Ziona, okay?
What is going on between these sisters? This
It's
could
not
be a whole
great.
spin-off show,
Lots of people showed a
like the
picture of,
real
like
sisters of
yeah.
Montana.
Somebody showed a picture of all the sisters together and was like, this and then one of the sisters is engaged or married to a woman, and then the rest of them look like Kardashians, and then some of them have babies and some don't, and then, of course, she's got it's like, this totally is a spinoff. It's a
It
spinoff.
100 ex-Amish
Yeah.
now turned lips that are so big they take up your whole face,
Yes.
and with the crazy names, and they
Yes.
all have bitter resentments towards each other
Yes.
from their childhood or
Yes.
from current situations. Maybe somebody stole somebody's boyfriend, I don't know,
Uh-huh.
but,
Yeah.
like and then they just had to go at the end of the day, though, we're always have each other's backs,
Yeah.
but they, like, will stab each other in the back too.
And then they turn around and they've got, like, the something gang on the back of their leather jackets, and they
Yeah,
turn around, they look at the
yes,
camera like
the
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever their last name is, like,
Yes.
they're full on yeah.
Well, we don't know. Ziona,
Shukama
Shariah, Shekinah,
Makashaya
Mariah, I don't know.
yeah,
Garner, her last name is Garner. Her name
they
is
okay.
Shekinah Garner, yeah. Um, okay. Also, if you go on Reddit, you just look up Shekinah, you'll come across a whole thread about I used to work with Shekinah, AMA. It's all about how awful she was to work with.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was gonna ask you, I forgot. So she just was in Turkey for 6 months or something. How long was she there in this last season where she was trying to make it work with him, throwing the bottles and
Oh,
smashing?
she would go because her daughter has a break every 5 weeks, so she would go for 4 weeks at a time and then come home and see her daughter for a week and then go back. Yeah.
Okay, so she's did that for quite a while,
Mhm.
and now she comes back to town. All her clients are like, "Great, I can finally see this. I have not had a facial in 4 months.
Yeah.
I have blackheads all over my face."
Ew.
And
Uh-huh.
then she goes out of town to see the daughter, and then she
Yeah.
goes to Montana.
Right. Well, she's filming a show, Kimberly. She has to do that.
But these clients, like, is there a substitute? Like, if your doctor is out of town, they have someone
Mm.
else on call?
It's just facials, so I don't think it's that important. I think you could
I
find
mean,
somebody
she
else to
did
do a
a lot of
facial.
treatments, I think, in that she has a lot of equipment. I
She
I would
does.
just be really annoyed if my person was constantly out of town. I just don't know how you have a loyal clientele if
Yeah,
you're
especially in
constantly out of town.
LA. Yeah, especially in
Yeah, there's
LA
so
where
much competition.
yeah, and people constantly gotta be doing things to their face. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the talking head, the 2 of the sisters are there. I think it is, Ziona and Mariah, and they're like, "She kinda so naive, like, ugh, we hate her." Um, so
They really do sound like they hate her.
they really sound like they hate her.
They
So
need a
he's
spinoff. This is the family Chantel, but the family Shekinah, and I want it to happen.
good idea. Oh, we should pitch it. Okay. So, he says, he tells them, he goes, we have to have a balance, between our relationship and the trust. And then, but right now, here, it's all about family. And I think that what's going on here has a lot to do with your upbringing. And then they're like, oh, yeah, right. Because we had this fucked up upbringing. And he goes, but do all of you should kind of have the geisha vibes? All of you have geisha vibes?
Okay.
And they all
So
go, they
here's where
go,
it went
"Huh?
bad.
What? Who? Huh? What?" They all look at him like, "Did you just say geisha vibes?" And, he goes, like, "She does everything for me. She cooks, she works, she cleans, she does everything for me. All of you
What are you
women,
doing?
you all feel that way? Yes?" And she kinda goes, okay." So what he means is, like, I just serve him. Like, he doesn't have to ask. I just give him
No,
what he
don't say
needs.
serve
I
either.
serve him. And so that's what he means, like, geisha vibes. And Shariah goes, "Huh? What?" And Shirai goes, "So, all right, so things are the same. He still doesn't like it when you speak your mind or say your opinion." And she goes, "Oh, right. That's true. But I do it anyway. I do it anyway. Like I speak my mind." And he goes, "Yes. And sometimes I say, oh boy, wish I had the old Shekinah back. She was so obedient." Like,
Oh my god, Sarper, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
yeah,
I thought you had changed, but
maybe
I
it'll,
can't tell,
yeah,
like, I don't
no,
wanna be a Sarper apologist
no,
because he has been super problematic
yeah,
and potentially, like, emotionally abusive towards
yeah,
women in his past.
yes,
But part of me felt like this was, like, his anxiety, and he had, like, dug himself into a hole, and he's just making it worse and worse, and, like, we've all kind of done that where we put
yeah,
our
yeah,
foot
yeah,
in our mouth,
yes,
but then
yes,
I also think, like, but is this how he still really feels?
yeah,
I think this might be how he still really feels, and then I'm like, "He tricked me because I've been sort of liking him lately."
yeah.
So, I'm now mad at myself.
I'll be interested what Amy Archer thinks because, she's a Sarper apologist. So,
Totally. Yeah.
yeah, I'll be interested to see how she feels about all Sarper using the word obedient.
Yeah,
Um,
and
and then we
geisha.
see geisha twice. Then we see Shariah and Jay together, and she goes, "You know what about Sarper? He just rubs you the wrong way. He can't help himself. He just rubs you the wrong way. He just can't
He's rubbed a lot of ladies
in the
the
right
wrong way,
way, if you know what I'm
in
saying."
the right way.
Um,
2,500.
mm. Is that the number 2005? I was trying to think of that the other day for some reason. I was like, "What was the number?"
Somewhere in between 2 and 3,000, yeah,
Yeah,
I
gross.
think.
Let's move on and finish up with Jessica and Juan and Megan and 2 other people. The other girl looked just like Megan and Jessica. Everybody in the town looks the same.
Yep. So, we open with Juan comforting a crying baby.
Mm.
surrounded by a sick little boy and lots of wooden art that says "Gather together, family, blessed, enjoy wine." And he's
Mhm.
regretting all of his life decisions. He needs word art that says regret because that's that's his thought bubble right now. He hates his life. And one of the boys is sick,
Oh,
so he's, like,
yeah,
trying to do, like, get a temperature check on the boy, and then the
yeah,
boy is, like so he's at home with the baby and one of the boys,
right.
and she's not there. She's with at work, and the other boy's at school, and so the little boy that's sick has requested mac and cheese for breakfast, and, what Juan does is he boils the pasta in
Uh-huh,
boiling water. He's okay so far.
uh-huh,
But then in the boiling water with the
yeah,
pasta,
yeah,
he mixes in the cheese and maybe some milk
uh-huh,
in the boiling water, so no drainage happened. So
right.
it's essentially soup that he is cheesy soup that he is serving to the little boy. It looks revolting. He did not read the directions. And he
Mm-mm.
says, "We don't have mac and cheese like that where I'm from. You buy the mac and you buy the cheese and then you put
Yeah,
them together." And so then you read the directions. They're pretty simple.
he read
Um
the first part of the directions and then just put the box in the trash, like, I guess the rest of it I'll just throw in the pot once it starts
yeah.
boiling. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the little boy calls his mom and is like, "Mom, what Juan made me is gross. It doesn't look like your mac and cheese." And she's like, "What did he?" It's watery. And she's like, "Did he use water and not milk?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then she goes, "Did he not drain the pasta?"
Yeah.
And the little boy goes, "I don't think he drained the pasta."
And that's the little boy that when they were in Colombia was given a hard time because he put milk in the cereal, and he's like, "I
Oh, yes.
don't know." Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I totally remember
He's
that.
the picky eater,
So
yeah.
he's picky. But I wouldn't eat this. This is disgusting, and I
I
love
would
mac and cheese.
I wouldn't
No.
either, no.
So, he's like, "Can you bring me home a pizza, mom?" She's like, "Yes." So she comes home with no pizza, by the way. She does not come home with pizza. She comes home
Mm,
with the other kid from school, and Juan is cooking dinner. He's doing, like he's in, like, Mr. Mom, which I hate that. That is so outdated, but
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so he's like, "I'm cooking fish and asparagus," and she goes, "I'll eat the asparagus." And he's like, "You don't like fish?" And she's like, "No.
Mm-mm.
How do you not know this?"
Mhm.
And, so all of his food has gone to waste. This is just so sad for him.
Poor
He's so
Juan.
so depressed, and the baby is cranky. They sit down, and Juan is, like, exhausted, like any, like, parent who has a
Yes,
stay-at-home parent, and then the
yes.
parent from work comes home all like, "How was your day?" And you're
Yeah,
like, "F you."
yeah.
So, the baby's cranky, and she's like, "Well, it seems like he's tired. Did he not take a nap?" And Juan's like, "I just don't know. I'm frustrated because if he's cranky during the day, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why and she's like, "Well, I'm the mom, but I still don't always know, like, what that cry means or,
Yeah,
that happens. You'll get used to it." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just depressed. I hate my life, and I gave up a cruise life for this." And, she's like, "I understand how hard it is. I've been a stay-at-home mom, I did this for a long time." And he goes, "But you have a job. You get to go out and feel useful." And she's like, "Well, your job is to take care of the kids right now because you can't get a job. And
right.
I have taken care of this baby on my own for 6 months
Mhm.
and the 2 other children and worked and I get it. But you have nothing better to do during the day. So this is the deal. You take care of the kids,
That's
you
right.
know? And he says, "I'm just tired. I hope we can finally get some sleep tonight." Cause I guess the baby kept him up all night
Yep.
and the sick kid. So
Mhm.
he's like, "I'm trying not to think about boat life and how fun it was with my friends and the drinking and the sex and the partying and how
Yeah.
my life sucks now. Regret." So they are going out bowling
But he
on
says
another
he
night.
says he basically is like, "I'm depressed and could use some medical intervention." And she's like, "Suck it up, buttercup."
100%. He is
Yeah.
depressed, and she's just like, "It's fine, suck it up." Like,
Mhm.
she does that thing where she negates how he's feeling, or, like, when he says, "It smells like poop here," she says, "No, it doesn't." Like, she's trying to gaslight him, or,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
"There's nothing to do here compared to what I'm used to on the ship," and she's like, "There's a bar and a grocery store, so, like, there's plenty to do." Like,
And you can
she
go
keeps
watch Mrs. Doubtfire at the movie theater.
Right. She
Right.
tries to put this like rosy spin on everything, and it I think makes it worse instead
Yeah.
of being like, he's actually struggling.
Yeah.
Let's address this.
Mhm.
So, but again, he did impregnate her. So like he should be stepping up. I'm not
Right.
saying he shouldn't, but
Yeah. True.
he might need she's a therapist.
I know, that's
Like
my thought. I was like, "She's a therapist, can't she see he's, like, struggling?" Yeah.
he's struggling. So they go out bowling with her friends, and she's bringing her breast pump in a plastic grocery bag. Did you see
Hmm.
that?
Seems like she would have, like, a carrying
A
case for
bag.
it, but alright.
Yeah, or like a
Okay.
bigger purse or something, just
Yeah,
like you're
no.
walking in carrying leftovers or something. Anyway, it's fine. So, Megin is gonna be there, and Jessica hopes they can make up Juan and Megin with an I so that she can be her maid of honor.
Right.
And he says, I used to get off work on the cruise ship and go party with my friends after work, and it was so much fun. And he says, now we have to drive 45 minutes to go bowling.
Mhm.
45 minutes to
Yeah, and it
go
was just
bowling.
ice. You could see that road was just ice. It was just, like,
That's
pure.
crazy.
Yeah,
And she
you're
goes,
used to it.
"But it's fun."
Yeah.
Like, again, just admit that this is different,
He was like,
and
"The bar was, like, all the way over there. You couldn't even, like, bring the drinks down to bowl." She was like, "The bar was 10 feet away." I was like, I don't know. I was with Juan on this one. It
I'm
didn't look that
totally
fun.
with Juan.
Yeah.
Like, I just want her to admit that, like, it kinda sucks.
Yeah, it
Like,
sucks.
where
It's
she
different, but
lives, it's
yeah.
different compared to what he's used to,
Yeah.
Just admit that it's different. I'm not
Yeah.
saying, like, her whole town sucks, but, like, it's right for some people, and it might not be right for other people or
Right.
just different than what they're used to. So, we meet Herbie, who is Megan's husband.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you have a problem
Um
with the name Herbie? It just reminds you
No,
of a
I
love
like it.
bug?
I think it's cute.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's cute. And he's very cute.
Mhm.
And I was wondering, I want some sort of interview with Herbie, like a talking head where they ask him, "How do you feel if your wife is so obsessed with their relationship? Like, does she talk about it when you guys are in bed? Does she talk
Mhm.
about it while you're brushing your teeth? While you're
Yeah.
trying to be intimate? Is she like bringing up how Juan cheated? Because
Mm,
that's the vibe we're getting. I
yeah.
want to know." So, Juan is not good at bowling because there maybe wasn't a bowling alley on the cruise. Some cruise ships have it, but I'm guessing not his boat.
But probably
So,
not in the employee section because that's
yeah,
below
that's
deck.
true.
All the employee
Yeah,
stuff is down there, and maybe they
yeah,
didn't have a bowling alley.
yeah. So that and Jessica's good. So it's like fine. I'm barely paying attention, and then I kind of look down for a second, and I see out of the corner of my eye, Megan falls flat on her face,
She
and
bit
I
it.
rewound so many times. She slips because it's slippery, and she falls flat on her face, and then she stays there. She does one of those, like, "I'm dead. Just I'm gonna play
Yeah,
dead now because I'm so embarrassed, and I
yeah.
can't believe that happened." And everyone is laughing. Megan is or Jessica's laughing, like, Juan is cracking up.
He's thrilled.
Finally, Herbie goes and is like, "Are you okay?" Because no
Yeah.
one even asked if she's okay, and she's,
Yeah,
like, literally just lying still on the floor.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was
Juan
rough.
says, "I hope she's good and everything, but that was amazing. She got what she deserved, and it's karma."
And I was like, "That's gonna come back to bite you in the ass at the reunion."
There we go.
That's all I could think about.
So
Yep.
yeah. So they ask Juan how it feels to get out of the house, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a nice break from the kids and the chores and everything." And then Megan, in front of the others, because it's Herbie and another girl who
Uh,
doesn't speak,
looks like
and
them,
another
looks like the
blonde,
yeah.
and Megan goes, "So, Juan, how have you been showing Jessica that she can trust you again?"
So
In front
weird.
in front of the others, as
Yeah.
they're bowling. And Juan goes, "How about quitting my job and moving here and raising her children?" Like,
I liked it. I liked
I
it.
loved it.
Mhm,
And Megan does this fake ass smile with her mouth closed, where
mhm,
she's like,
mhm.
again, where she's like that Megan doll that's gonna come to life and kill somebody,
Yeah.
and, with the flossing dancing, and so she is like, I just need you to prove that you are 100% trustworthy, and I'm just not 100% there yet. You don't have to be there."
God, I would like to know what her husband thinks, like, girl, you're a little too involved in this situation, you
Too
know?
involved, and Jessica is sitting there saying nothing. She's just smiling at Juan like, "This is so amusing." And Juan everyone's staring at Juan like, "What is he gonna say?" And he says, "Look, I'm tired of you still bringing this up. We have the same conversation over and over again, and I don't need to answer you. This is between me and Jessica." And then
Yep.
finally yes, and then finally Jessica says, we just feel like if you're gonna keep doing this and bringing this up and attacking him, like, why would we even wanna come hang out with you, Megin?" Like, she
Mhm.
she says that, and, like, even Herbie starts nodding, like, "Mhm, I
Yeah.
would like her to stop talking about it too." Like,
Yeah.
last night we were trying to do it, and she was talking about Juan cheating. So he's sick of Megan talking about it, and Megan
I
goes, "I respect that. I need you to know, Juan, if you ever hurt her again, I will ruin your life." And the
wow.
other friend that doesn't speak puts her hand over her mouth. She's like, "Oh my god." And
Like,
Jessica is still smiling.
she
And then
is. It's
Juan is
weird.
like, it's so weird. And Juan says to us, like, what did she say? Like, is she threatening me? How is she gonna ruin my life? Like,
Yeah.
what? And they're just staring at each other like tumbleweeds rolling across the bowling
Yeah.
alley. It was so invasive. And I can't like again, are the producers putting her up to this? Or is this really Megan? Right in the middle of their bowling game.
And what does her husband think? Listen to his wife speak like that. "I will ruin your life. I will fuck you up." And you're like, "Whoa, honey."
Whoa, is she gonna cut my pee-pee off if, like, I
Right.
ever, like, forget to buy cheese at the grocery store? Like,
Yeah.
it's weird. She's scary. Again,
It's and
we need a
it's
side
just
by side of Megan and Megan the doll because it's
it is just like it is just like when they were at the bar and Jessica and Juan were telling her, like, "Yes, we do know that he cheated, but we have made up. We've moved past it." And it's like that where she was just smiling and Jessica was smiling and Megan was like,
no, it
"I
doesn't
will
go up
get
to her eyes.
yeah, I will
It's
kill you."
Mhm.
It's
And again, in
happening.
front of other people at the bar,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now
yeah,
in
yeah.
front of other people, there's no, like, "Can I pull you aside and talk to you about this?" And
Yeah,
again, what could he do, like, to prove that he's trustworthy? Isn't that just time? Like, it just
yeah.
takes time.
What's he supposed to do? Like, "I got a
Like,
DM. Would you
delete
like
his
to read
phone?
it?" Or yeah,
Like,
I
yeah,
mean,
like, throw away his phone, like, just not have a device? Like, how else
yeah.
is he gonna prove
I
it to her?
deleted my Carnival Cruise app. Like, what do you want me to do?
Right,
I mean,
right. I
well,
don't understand.
I agree with you. I don't understand either. Um, Next week on Greg's mom tries to give some wedding advice to Joan and Greg. She had a poem in mind, and then Joan says, "Well, he's got to pay the dowry. We're going to have to respect my culture, or there won't be a wedding." And then in the talking head, they're both like, "The wedding has to be in our backyard. That's all we can afford on our budget."
Yeah,
So it's not going well over
with
there
the
on Long Island.
chickens.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that
The
fun.
chickens could walk down the aisle,
Yeah, that's cute. Do the chickens
and then
smell? Do
Rain
chickens smell?
Rain from last season would come in and, like, wanna dress them up.
Save the chickens. Oh, the chickens smell? Would that be bad for the
Yeah, I
backyard?
would I would think the coop smells a little if unless they're keeping it, like, very pristine and
Yeah,
constantly scooping out
yeah.
poop and stuff.
Um, Sean and Aaliyah and their dog Maxwell arrived to a vineyard to meet up with some family and friends, and it doesn't seem to go well. I didn't see that his kids were there because I think they would have featured that, but it was more of like a buddy saying like, "What are you doing? She's so much younger."
Yeah. Get to the kids. I'm just
Yeah,
where are the children? I
right.
really wanna see his kids. I wanna see what they look like. I wanna see what
Uh-huh.
they sound like.
All of it. All of it.
Is it Shekinah?
Sarper says to, the table there, he's to the all the
Oh,
ayahs,
they're
the
still at the restaurant.
Shariah, Zayaniah, Mariah,
Mhm.
Shekinah. He says to all of them, like, Of course, I have some anger issues, but everybody does." And they're all like, "No, not everybody does. Like, it's not okay." And
He
he's
says,
like,
like, all
"Huh."
men do,
Yeah,
and
all
she's
men.
like, "Nope, that's not okay." Yeah.
It's like Jax on the Valley. He's like, "Who doesn't throw a coffee table at their wife? Am I right, guys? Am I right?
"Come on,
Whores.
guys, right,
Whores, am I
bro?
right?
Come on."
Right?"
Yeah.
Um, and Ziona tells him, not only do you need to like be a man, you need to learn how to be a man. Well, that's not going to go over well with Sarper.
Yeah. He doesn't like being questioned on his manhood.
No. And on the beach, Matt is talking to Amani and he goes, we just need to understand what's going on in Ani's heart. And like, I'm still in it, but I need help. And then they have like a fake argument, which who cares? And because
When are we going to get this like private eye or weird person going to come in
Yeah,
and
that's what
find
I'm
out?
interested in.
I
Yeah.
can't wait for that.
Me too. It's Bo Deedle. Real Housewives of New
What?
Jersey reference. It's a Real
Oh, okay.
Housewives of New Jersey reference. Bo Deedle. It's a private eye. Well, Bo Deedle said, Bo Deedle's got a file on all of you. Yeah.
A really funny name.
Bo Deedle.
Sure.
All right. Maddie says Stevie is hiding something. And she says, I already did it. What do you want me to do? I can't go back in time. It's different here. It's not a big deal. And the talking Eddie says, what if one day she says she needs something else? Well, that's not okay for me. So we need to postpone the wedding. So I think we're still talking about her possibly being bisexual and once having a girlfriend or
That's what
something.
100% I thought. I thought it's it's lesbian stuff, bisexual stuff.
Yeah.
And he's
like,
worried. Yeah.
And she's like, it's not a big deal. I already did it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
So he's just concerned that one day she may say she doesn't want to be with a man anymore.
It could be a nothing burger, though. It could be like she started a bank account that he doesn't know about or something.
That's true.
Matt Sharp fake out.
Come on, Matt Sharp fake out. And that's it. And that's it for our episode. An hour and a half. And I really thought it was going to be a way shorter episode. But as per usual, we just talk.
I can't stop talking.
Can't.
I need to talk to people before we talk because then I'll get it out of my system. If I haven't spoken to anyone all day, I just talk too much.
Well, you know what's what they say is like women has this amount of words in a day and men have this amount of words in the day.
Yeah.
And so like it really was a problem when I did stay home with the kids when they were little and Dave would come home from work and I'd maybe seen 2 adults all day.
Right.
And I would be like, blah, 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 would like talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's just like, I've used all my words at work.
Yeah.
And we say that about Anna, my daughter, because her job is so solitary. She's just with dogs all day.
Yeah.
And then she comes home and wants to talk our heads off. And believe me, when I tell you, I've used my quota for the week in one day of the amount of words that I talk.
Yeah.
And she's just blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I'm just sitting there like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Even with your own child.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm
yes.
done.
Yeah. And then she Dave's trying to talk to David. He's like, nope. Go talk to your mom. I'm done. Used all my words. I'm like, I talk for my job. I talk for my job. Please don't make me talk anymore.
Yeah.
But I love to talk to you. I love to talk to you.
I love to talk to you.
And again,
I have
guys,
to go to my mom's birthday party after this at a retirement community.
That'll be fun.
With all these little ladies that she invited. So now I'm going to have to talk some more.
Oh, tell me, how do you listen? How do I watch your podcast?
Right.
I've never watched your podcast. Can I watch it on my phone? Do I watch it on the TV? Where do I watch it? Yeah, I get that a lot. How old is your mom turning?
78.
It's pretty good. 78, still pretty young. Still pretty young. I got 83 and 85. Turning 84, turning 86, my parents.
That's exciting.
No spring chickens.
Blessed to have them.
That's right. Hashtag blessed. I am blessed that they're still with me. Okay, everybody. That's Kimberly and Katie from A Date with Dateline. This was just Kimberly, but Katie's also on the podcast at Date with Dateline. And guess what?
She's always here over my shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like,
they cover Dateline.
Don't say that. Don't make fun of that person.
She is always trying to rein you in.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's always trying to keep it PC. And
don't make fun of a bot. I made fun of this guy, this killer's looks, and she edited it all out.
Listen, he's a murderer. He deserves to be made fun of.
I can make fun of his weird nose, but apparently I can't.
Well, then she really hates me because it's all I do is talk about people's teeth. What show was I just?
Love her.
Oh gosh, it was Love After Lockup this week. The teeth. Not only do we not quite understand what's going on in the one mouth hole of JK because he covers his teeth like this, but we know it's a meth sitch. Then we met his grandmother, and we don't know what.
Yeah.
Was happening there. That was.
Yeah.
We can't
and that
the
one
grandmother
girl
though.
in the hotel room has the teeth that are Um,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
That
feeling
is
bad for her
Ashley.
though right now.
Ashley. Well,
She's
if
delusional.
she's been dating him for a year, got his name tattooed on her, and he was like, "I don't know why you can't visit me in the prison. They just won't approve it. They won't approve it because you've got another girlfriend." I mean, like, her friends tried to tell her and she wouldn't listen.
And they got
Mm-mm.
her, like, cake and ice cream, and he just is on his phone the whole time, and then
Mhm.
he's, like, gonna eat the cake, and she leaves. Like, it's so
Yeah. She left her own hotel room twice. Said, "I'm
twice.
outta here." I was like, "It's your own
Yeah.
room. What are you doing? Make him leave." That's Love After Lockup, guys. That's on Mondays. And next week, you'll have Kimberly
Fascinating.
covering Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiance with Keisha and Matt Marr. So tune in for that. Again, you guys, I know that if you looked at the newsletter or social media, it did say we were having Christine and Stacey from Step by Step, but that is going to be on the 21st. I had to make an executive business lady decision. So you will get episode 1, the recap of the Valley this Thursday, and then the rest of it is on Pink Shade Prime. So that's that. And I'm just looking at my list of other things I need to talk about. I think we covered it, except for we didn't cover what's happening on A Date with Dateline. So tell me.
We're doing an old one, Part of the Plan, and it aired on Sunday this week because 'cause they're doing a lot of, like, older episodes all weekend long in honor of Jesus,
Oh,
being
okay.
resurrected. I don't
Got
know.
it. Yeah.
So, Part of the Plan.
Dateline, part of the plan. I'm going to look that up because I'm always looking for Datelines to watch. If it's on, Dateline to me is like Friends, or like to my husband, Friends is kind of
Yeah,
always on, or like everybody, I just always have on
yeah.
Dateline.
Yeah, I think it's like that for a lot of people. It's soothing
Soo-
in a way. Yeah.
Soothing. Yeah.
Soothing murder. Yeah.
Can you confirm that Dennis is okay? Because we haven't seen him in a long time.
He's okay. Yes, he's
Okay.
okay. I hope we're gonna see him this season.
Okay.
He's semi-retired, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would have liked an announcement
I
because,
know.
yeah, we
I
miss
know.
him. Everybody, that's our episode. Everybody, make sure you're following Kimberly and Katie wherever you listen to your podcast, but also on Instagram at Dateline. And of course, I am over on the Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. And something you can do for free is go over to any podcast you love, this one or Kimberly and Katie's, A Date with Dateline, and give a 5-star. Just click that button and give a 5-star.
Yeah.
It helps other people find us, and it's free. You can do it for
Thank
free.
you.
Thank you. Okay, bye.